Basic Introduction to the Elements, Chapter 6. Common points. All elements have things in common. Physical elements all have auras. An aura is a field of energy that surrounds you. I will go into detail how to explain how that works later. Some elements have specific ways of breathing. All elements have different versions of meditations. What is an aura? It is the field that is generated by your body. This field extends beyond the body. All physical elements generate this aura differently. Now, many people have said that they can actually see this aura in the different colors it reproduces. There are also many different types of equipment that will go and detect the aura and show you what colors it has. The aura, Part 1. An explanation requires a battery. A battery requires some sort of acid. An acid requires two different kinds of wires. Now, your cells contain acid, and your cells also contain all kinds of minerals. The way a battery works is the acid eats off the atoms and electrons from one wire and transfers them to the other. When you connect the wire to both ends, the electrons go and try and get to the original spot, which creates the current. Now, the human body creates all kinds of electricity. If you had a multimeter, you could hold both ends of the multimeter and you get a reading through the multimeter. Aura, Part 2. To create an aura, you also need an electron magnet, which requires a power source, a metal core, and a metal wire. You take the wire and you wrap it around the core, then you apply power to the wire, and you create an electron magnet. Now, you can also coil this wire up around the core as well and create a better source of magnetism. Now, looking at the human body, the blood acts as a wire, and the minerals in the cell act as a core. We already have the power source from the cells themselves. This creates a magnetic field around the body. Now, breathing is the next thing we need to look at. The illustration shows 4 different types of breath: a normal breath, non-for breath, slow breath, and fast breath. Know that to breathe correctly, you have to remember a few different things. First of all, your lungs are 2 different sizes. Your left lung is smaller than your right lung to make room for your heart. But in order to breathe properly, both lungs have to fill up at the same rate. Next, you have to imagine your lungs working as a bellows. A bellows is an old-fashioned device used to get fires started and make them go stronger. Now, there are 4 different types of breath. The normal breath is your everyday breath. For this, you count the number of heartbeats. Your fast breath, you breathe just as deeply as your normal breath, but you breathe and exhale at the speed of half the beats of your normal breath. Your slow breath, you breathe just as deeply, but you breathe for twice as many heartbeats as your normal breath. Now, no breath is different. You take as deep as breath as you can, but you let the air expand and escape your body at its own rate. You don't force it out. Now, the next thing we need to know about is that each element has an elemental charge. The physical elements and the spiritual elements are both different. The physical element acts in the morning like an uncharged battery. Each element has its own battery. As you interact with each battery during the day, it increases the charge. When a battery gets charged fully, it becomes very difficult to interact with that element. You notice that such people that fill up their element charge, they tend to get upset and do whatever it takes so that they can't have any more access and fill up that charge anymore. Now, the spiritual element's different. It's more like a capacitor with unlimited charge to it. The more you experience that element, the stronger it gets, and the more power it has.